David and Goliath, a shepherd's faith against a giant's sword, the battle that redefined courage. The valley of Elah was charged with tension. On one side stood the armies of Israel, fearful and discouraged. On the other side, the Philistine host, emboldened by a towering champion who mocked and defied the armies of God. For 40 days, Goliath of Gath, a giant over 9 feet tall, clad in armor and wielding weapons that dwarfed those of ordinary men, strode out and issued his challenge: "Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he is able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subjects." 1 Samuel 17-8-9. No one in Israel dared to step forward. King Saul himself, though head and shoulders taller than his men, shrank from the task. Fear silenced a nation. And then came David, a shepherd boy, too young for the battlefield, carrying bread and cheese to his brothers. The shepherd's perspective. When David heard Goliath's taunts, he was indignant. Where others saw an invincible warrior, David saw a man defying the living God. His words carried a courage born not of pride but of faith. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? 1 Samuel 17:26. To Saul and the seasoned soldiers, David's boldness seemed reckless. But David remembered the God who had delivered him before, from the paw of the lion and the bear while tending his sheep. The same God would deliver him from Goliath. Armor that did not fit. Saul, desperate for hope, agreed to let David fight and offered his own armor, but the heavy bronze weighed David down. He was not a warrior of the sword, but a shepherd who trusted in God's provision. So David laid aside the armor, picked up his staff, and chose 5 smooth stones from the brook. With only his sling in hand, he stepped forward to meet the giant. The battle of faith. Goliath sneered when he saw David, a boy with no armor, no sword. His mocking words dripped with disdain. "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks? Come here, and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals." 1 Samuel 17:43-44. But David's reply pierced the valley. "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, for the battle is the Lord's." 1 Samuel 17:45-47. With faith as his weapon, David ran toward Goliath, slung a stone, and struck the giant in the forehead. The mighty Philistine crashed to the ground, defeated by the hand of a shepherd and the power of God. Themes in David's victory. 1. Courage. True courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in faith despite it. David's courage sprang from his confidence in God, not in himself. 2. Faith. Where Saul and Israel saw only the size of the enemy, David saw the greatness of his God. Faith redefines perspective. What appears impossible becomes possible when placed in God's hands. 3. God's deliverance. The story makes clear victory did not belong to David's skill with the sling, but to the Lord who guided the stone. Deliverance is God's work, accomplished through those who trust him. Conclusion. Giants still fall. The story of David and Goliath is more than a tale of a boy defeating a giant. It is a declaration that God's power is greater than any obstacle. The giants we face today, fear, doubt, injustice, or hardship, may seem insurmountable, but they crumble when met with faith in the living God. David's victory echoes through time as a reminder: the battle is the Lord's. And with him, even shepherds can topple giants.